Fitness is you versus you. Never be satisfied. No pain, no gain. Change lies outside of your comfort zone. Don't care what others think. These are all statements that are accepted by most without a second thought. But that is the issue. Too many of us are mindlessly working, struggling, and stressing without giving it a second thought, let alone meditating on it in prayer and giving it to God. We are so fast to take the new drug or supplement, to follow the new trend, the new diet, and the trainer that says their way is the best. But we are struggling more, fatter, with more health problems, more stressed, and even if we reach our goals, we are unfulfilled. We make excuses, place blame, and beat ourselves up, but keep doing the same things over and over again. First Chronicles states that God chose the things the world considers foolish in order to shame those who think they are wise, powerless to shame those who are powerful, things despised, counting as nothing at all, and use them to bring to nothing what the world considers important. So why do we keep choosing the ways of the world that the Bible states they won't work? Because most don't even know of any other way and leave God out of the process. But what if there was another way to bring God into your health and fitness? To stop stressing and find freedom and purpose through your goals? To go from struggling with health and fitness to worshiping through health and fitness? This is Y2 Fitness. Welcome. We are on Luke 12. All right, Luke 12. Let's just hop right in here. Verse 1 and 2. Beware of the yeast of the Pharisees and their hypocrisy. Time is coming when everything covered up will be revealed. You see, so many people say they know the way, yet they really don't. Don't follow these people. These are the people that leave out God, that just say, my way, try keto, try this. But how many people fail off of all these different ways? You see, all these different ways are going to start all of a sudden permeating you and making you distrust God, make you not put your faith in God and just simply put it into the world and in man. Beware of that, because in verse 3, whatever you have said in the dark will be heard in the light. Whatever you whisper behind closed doors will be shouted from the housetops for all to hear. You see, what you do or don't do will show up on your body. What you do when you go home, what you do behind closed doors shows up on your body. If you're trying to do something that's cutting out a whole macronutrient like keto, I don't know how to respond. If you're trying to do things that, are struggling for you, and you may be doing all the right actions, but then go home and beat yourself up. Maybe you don't follow what you need to. These things show on your body, whether it be right away or later in disease, pains, mental anguish, whatever it may be. So you got to make sure that no matter what you are doing, it is in alignment with where you want to be, your purpose. And the only purpose we have here is God's purpose, the one that He establishes for us. Everything else, is pretty much pointless, at least if you go against what the Bible, or go with what the Bible says. So let's go into hop into verse 4. Don't be afraid of those who want to kill you. They can't do much more after you do that about that. You see, we got to stop worrying so much about our body aging and dying. It's natural, but we better make sure that your actions are in line with what God has for us. And most people know that what we're doing is selfish. At least if you are a Christian, you know that a lot of things aren't in alignment. You know you have failed. For all have failed to come and fall short of the glory of God. And we know this. So we need to keep on readjusting our focus on Him. Just like with fitness, we're going to fail. We know this. But are we doing it out of worrying about aging and dying and what we have on earth? Or are we doing it so we can not make it because works don't make it, but to make sure that we are in alignment with God? You see, in verse 11 and verse 12, you're brought to trial. Don't worry how to defend yourselves, what to say. The Holy Spirit will teach you at the time what needs to be said. You see, when you're close to God, He provides the knowledge and the right actions to do. He gives you the comfort or the ability, the strength or the energy. So many times we're going against what God has in store for us. So all we do is gonna struggle. When you know the truth and you start acting away from the truth, when you start acting selfish or for worldly gain or anything like that, or just for simple pleasure, it's going to produce a struggle, whether now or later. Same with fitness. Are you just going for feeling good, which most people do, or are you actually going for a result? Do you have that why? Verse 13 and through 15. This is the parable of the rich fool. And let's see here. What should I do? And, I'll tear down my barns and big better ones, after you rich had fertile farm and all this other stuff. And you see, you can be trying to obtain a body type, eat a certain way, dedicate time and effort, position yourself around others that are about to say the same thing. But the question is, are you being greedy with your resources? You see, you can't just be like, hey, I'll just do all this stuff and now take it easy and eat and drink and be merry because I have enough stored, like they were saying about these barns, and I'll make the bigger barn so I can store all the wheat and all my other goods and just sit back to myself. Are you doing that? Are you being greedy with the resources that God has given you? You see, many times people respond, I need to do all this to function. They say, I go crazy without it, that this is therapy, the gym. Well, is this a healthy relationship with the gym? Is this all for selfish reasons then, if it's your therapy? Is it out of fear that if you don't go to the gym or that you don't do what you need to do, that something's going to happen? You see, many proclaimed Christians can't be picked out from a crowd. They act identically the same. You see, they never truly live and acknowledge the new creation that they are if they just died to themselves. Most people are just still living for themselves. Greg Rochelle likes to call it the Christian atheist. You see, anything that you're doing to make yourself feel better about your situation that's apart from God is controlled by greed. Greed to have the life and the feelings you deserve. So you take it on your own hands to feel the way that you want to feel. You begin to do the things only to make up for what you are lacking. You see, greed isn't just wanting more. No. It can be any action you do in response to not having enough in another area. So when you don't have a good enough marriage or something like that, you go and try to get a better body. Well, that's a greedy way of doing things, that you deserve to have this better marriage. You deserve to have these better things. When you don't have the money, so you need to make sure you have this. No. God has you where you are for a reason, struggling with what you are for a reason. And also understand in verse 25, let's see here. Yep. Can any of your worries add a single moment to your life? And if your worry can't accomplish a little thing like that, what's the use of worrying over bigger things? Worries can't add a single moment to your life. Anything done to counteract your worry cannot add a moment to your life. And many people are working out simply to not have something, to not have the disease, to make sure they don't age. Things that they're acting out of fear and worry. But it says right here in verse 28, and if God cares so wonderfully for flowers that are today and thrown in the fire tomorrow, he will certainly take care of you. Why do you have so little faith? If you are worrying a lot, you have little faith. Because that's what, if you have faith, something's going to work out no matter what. Why worry? Why worry? Why do anything out of worry if you already know it's going to work out? But that's the thing. In fitness, most people don't believe that it's going to work out. They don't believe they're going to be able to follow it. They don't believe that it's going to work for them. So they sit there and worry and worry and worry. And what do? They don't cast that worry onto God. They cast onto a new diet, a new this, a new food product, a new method, something of this world, which is not good. Because it says right here in verse 29, don't be concerned about what to eat or drink. Don't worry about such things. These things dominate the thoughts of unbelievers all over the world. But your Father already knows your needs. If you're always thinking about what to eat or drink, are you an unbeliever? It says right here, these thoughts dominate unbelievers. Think about that. Think about that. You shouldn't be having to think about what to eat or drink or do all these things or be focused on a diet or what to work out on and all these things just for tomorrow out of worry, because you don't like being fat or out of worry that you're going to be unhealthy. No, this is worrying. You're not placing faith in God. You need to place your faith in God and then learn how to balance out your life. You need to learn to balance out what to do, when to do it. This is what needs to be done. Not just go out to the world again and do something because you're worrying too much. No, you need to learn how to balance out your life currently so you can just become a little bit greater, just a little bit greater. That's all God asks for, is to be a little bit better than our current selves, not to be something completely different. Oh, verse 31. You see, seek the kingdom of God above all else, and he'll give you everything you need. We need to give everything to God. We need to seek God, and he will provide all we need. Not diets, not workouts, or any of these types of things. No. We need to search God, and God has us right where we need to be. And then it goes ahead in verse 3, sell all your possessions. Give to those in need. This will you see... But a lot of people think is like, oh, I got to just sell everything, sell my money, all these other things. No. You got to understand all of the resources, time, energy, love, talent, knowledge, servitude, leadership, compassion. You give these things out of thanksgiving, not out of your selfish greed. So when you're giving time to the gym, time to your work, do these things to give to the Lord. Find opportunities to talk about Jesus and God during these times. This is how you give it all to God. That is how, not just, take all my worldly things. No, that is not it. And then it says, be ready for the Lord's coming. Verse 35. You see, you can't put this off. If you're living out of fear or doing things out of greed, you may miss out of the coming of the Lord. The old Jews did. All God's people just did. And I'm fearful that a lot of people are going to be actually missing out the second go around because they're too busy trying to strive for things of themselves. You see in 47:48, right here. Master returns, and he's going to find there's going to be a good job. And he'll put the servant in charge of all he owns and all that stuff. But you see, and the servant who knows the master wants but isn't prepared and doesn't carry out these instructions will be severely punished. That's what a lot of people are doing. We know what we're supposed to be doing. We know we're supposed to be functioning, or should I say focusing on. But we seem to not do it. We want to, because we don't have the marriage and we don't want to address that, because we don't have the relationship with the kids, we drowned it with alcohol, we drowned it with prescription drugs, we drowned it with the gym, and all these other things that we rely on. But the one who doesn't do what he knows he's supposed to do is going to be severely punished. This is all about that turmoil inside, the war within yourself. The more you battle and don't do what you know you must do, the worse things are going to be. And we as Americans like to call this stress, anxiety, depression. And because we're spiritual beings, we're going to have that calling, especially as Christians. If we don't do what we know is required, we're going to have that stress, anxiety, and depression. And what are you going to do? Fill that up with working out, a new diet, a new look, a new wardrobe? Or are you going to actually address it head on, right on? You see, I know that what I'm saying is not really settling with all and everybody. But same with Jesus. I've come to set the world on fire. I wish it were already burning, because Jesus causes division. You see, I'm under a heavy burden until it's accomplished. Do you think I've come to bring peace onto this earth? No, I've come to divide people against each other, families against each other, fathers against son, son against father, mother against daughter. You see, Jesus came to divide, not bring unity, and the same is what I'm doing here. I'm not here to make everyone feel good. I'm here to bring truth. I'm here to talk about something that may divide, but that is what I want. I want to divide from the world. I want to bring you into alignment with the God-given purpose, your why. We need to be in alignment with that and drop the things that the world says that we need and start doing what is the hard thing that the world says, but is actually going to be easier because Jesus says his yoke is light. We need to address the sources of the problem, not just the outcomes of the problem. If you are depressed, you're focusing on something of the past. If you are anxious, you're not doing something that you know you're supposed to do. If you're stressed, it's God's way of saying, pray. Give it to me. Stop doing it all by yourself. But what do? We search Google. We go search personal trainers. We search money. We search finances. We search like all these things of this world other than God. No, we need to know what God is saying. We need to know and address where we currently are, our current situations. In verse 54, when you see clouds beginning to form in the west, you say, here comes a shower. You're right. But and all these things, today's going to be a scorcher. You fools, you know how to interpret the weather signs of the earth and sky, but you don't know how to interpret the present times. Why can't you decide for yourself what is right? Just go look at fitness right now. Go look at fitness right now. There are so many ways to just do things, to achieve things. Doctors, prescription drugs, supplements, all these things to promise the world, and a lot of it can work. But here we are, we can't even interpret what we need to do today. What is the best way? What should I do today? And Jesus says, you fools. You have all this wisdom, but you can't even figure out what is right or wrong. Should I eat this? What should I eat? I get those questions all the time. Is this bad? Is this good? Should I be doing this? What's a better way? I have no clue because I don't know who you are yet. I can't just tell you the best way until you look at yourself, until you look within, until you look at your values, until you look at your goals, where you've been, where you are, where you want to go, with extreme detail. You need to look at the details like Jesus does, like God does. He knows every number of your hairs, not just how many, but the exact locations. They are numbered. You need to know this many details about your current self, your current struggles, and who you are as a person. Then you can figure out what is good or bad for you. What is the next right best thing for you? But if you're constantly just looking to other people to tell you other things and to always become something that you aren't, out of fear, out of greed, you will not be fulfilled at all. You must align your life, your actions with Jesus. We need to live for today, not tomorrow, because tomorrow is not promised. And today is where greater lies. Greatness is just an imagination thing. You'll never reach it. But greater, that's what we all can do. We can all be greater today, just by one little thing. But in order to be greater, you have to know where you currently are, or else you'll constantly wondering, is this greater? Is this better? I don't know because I don't know who I am. And that is why you need to know who you are, what you stand for. And that is the why way.